Transformers, Rise of the Beasts, or Beast, or something. It should be called The Rise of Crap, because this movie is crap. It's terrible. This movie is one of the worst films I've seen this year, that I've seen in a long time. Cocaine Bear is I think, still worse. Cocaine Bear might be better, because at least they knew what they were making. They knew they were making schlock and like B-movie crap over there. I think this Transformers film, they actually tried to make a legit good film. I think. I don't know. Actually, I kind of go back and forth, because I'm like, all the Transformers films, when you look at them, they're pretty much, they all got crap reviews, right? Now, for me, the only Transformers film I've seen is the original one, and that one was okay. The first Transformers film back in 2007, when Michael Bay was still doing it. And for all the faults of those films anyway, the one thing that's consistent is that the CGI is always really good. Michael Bay knows how to stage an action film, and I understand it. I understand why people go and they would watch those films. It satisfies a certain need, if you're an action junkie or whatever, you love action films and fast-paced stuff. You don't really care about story or characters or anything like that. You just want to see two robots smash each other to pieces. I get it. And that is the best part of this film, too, is the action scenes. It's when Optimus Prime, Prime, you will feel the full force of Prime. Like when they're doing their Transformers thing, that's great. That's why you go see a Transformers film. Stop with the human crap. Like, everybody in this film who's a human is terrible. There is no good acting from any of the I'm just gonna say human actors, because you have they're the human characters. They're just bad. There's no reason for them to be in this film. We're more interested in the Transformers parts. We're more interested in, just seeing the big gorilla. I want to see the big gorilla Transformer go around and smash things and stuff. And that was like the big motivator right there, because gorillas are cool. And I like King Kong, and I like King Kong vs. Godzilla was good, and I like Peter Jackson's King Kong film and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, whatever, we'll give it a chance, see what happens. And initially, this film did have some pretty good scores. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe it's good. And then I went and saw it, and I'm like, actually, no. The action scenes are pretty good. Everything's said and done. I think there's like 3 major action scenes. And every time a Transformer transforms from, every time Prime goes from being, a semi-truck to then becoming, his robot form, it's like, oh, wow, this is great. And they're always really creative in how they do it. Props to the CGI guys over there, all those people. The CGI is really good, which is kind of rare these days. CGI has just gotten progressively worse and worse and worse. You go back to any film in the early 2000s, the first Spider-Man films, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, all these CGI elements hold up today. They're still good. And all the early Transformers films, CGI is good, but it's just it gets progressively worse as you go on. And we can blame Marvel Studios all we want with the sort of production line CGI that you get, and then just really dull cinematography with that too. But anyway, we're talking about this. The cinematography in this film is just very mediocre. It's very it's utilitarian. It's like when the same thing with what I was just saying about Marvel cinematography. It's that it's very dull. Everything looks like darker and grayer. I don't know if that's to hide bad CGI, or if it's just this is just sort of a very medium. Let's just set the cameras up and get it done, to the point where there's no style. You can go back and look at the early Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films that were directed by Sam Raimi, and you could see there's a look to those films. There's a look to those films, and with the different lighting and the cinematography, there's a certain way that they look, and you can immediately point to it. Or even on TV. TV's even beating films these days. They've been doing it for a long time, but if you look at The Last of Us, the cinematography is incredible. And the cinematography comes right out of the video game, where, it's immediately recognizable. And there's a certain flavor to it, and there's a certain style, and there's a voice to the cinematography. There wasn't any of that. It was just, set up the camera. We need to make sure we can see everybody, and then we're fine. And this film was supposed to take place in the 90s. It didn't really look anything like the 90s, I guess. I mean, it just... I don't even really know what that's supposed to look like. But there are films that do historical films way better. Or it looks like you're actually there. I mean, you know, you look at a Tarantino film, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's like, yeah, we're in the 70s or the late 60s, I think it's supposed to be in. It's like, yeah, we're there. We're in that place in time. Even the cinematography itself, the lighting and everything just helps sort of get that feeling. I mean, I guess a good way to do that would be is to look at a 90s film, figure out how they shot it, what lenses they used, you know, even like the color grading and whatnot that you would do in post-production. Color grading is like you're taking the film and you're coloring it. You're making it, you know, it's something that I'll even do with this footage. It's where you're adding saturation, taking away saturation, making things look a little differently. And it's gotten more and more sophisticated, and to the point where everybody can color grade at home now on their home computer. It's not like you need a whole separate room with a separate setup where you're going to color correct or color timing or whatever. But anyway, yeah. So cinematography very bland, but again, they're not focused on that. What they're focused on is, you know, big action, big robots, and that's the good stuff. Everything else, the story is forgettable. All the actors that are in this film are just... you know, the human characters themselves are terrible, but the voice acting is good. They still got the same guy that's been doing Optimus Prime forever. He's like, I think he's 80 years old now. I think it's Peter Cullen, I believe. But anyway, yeah, the voice cast of this is actually really, really good. I know Michelle Yeoh even does a character. She recently won a bunch of awards for Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I don't think that film should have won Best Picture, but it's a good film, and she's great and everything. I mean, you know, go back to Couching. Oh goodness, go back to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and she's really good in that. So this film, Transformers, the Beasts of whatever, it's a 3. It's a 3. It's a 3 out of 10. And it gets a 3 for action. Everything else is just completely forgettable. There's a capitalist joke, which seems to be a trend now, where every single film has to say that capitalism is bad. Pfft, okay, yeah, well, we get it, guys. Everyone in Hollywood is a socialist or a communist. We get it. We get it. We get it. You hate capitalism. Fine, whatever. Secondly, in this film, all white people are stupid. All white people are bad. This movie's mediocre. That's pretty much sums up the film right there. Forget about the human characters. The robots are great. The robots are good, yeah. So the CGI, people that made the CGI are the heroes of this film. Alright, see you later. Bye. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you. Okay, bye.